Valentine's Day is a celebration of love. It's just something that is between two people that are romantically involved, whether that's long-term, short-term or very new. Sending out Valentine's Day cards to people who... It's like cold calling. It's just a little bit unnecessary and it's, I feel, hiding behind a holiday to express your intent. If you can't say the words any other time of the year, you probably shouldn't say them on Valentine's Day.
Well, I actually disagree, because you've got to think that people who don't have that confidence will save up those 12 months just to be able to send it out on that day. And I think that...
It's a licence, isn't it?
Taking people's confidence away by, you know, classifying Valentine's Day and harassment should not even be in the same sentence. It really, really shouldn't. And I think this is where PC's just gone way too far. The fact that, you know, receiving a gift of admiration is a lovely thing and should be shared as a lovely thing. We've got good people, we've got bad people, don't get me wrong, and I totally agree with you in that sense. But we should be advising people the correct way. You know, inappropriate suggestions, yes, they're not great. But an admiration of love, not relationship or sex, but love and admiration is a great thing.
Annabelle, we've had a message in from Mr. Sunshine on Twitter. Thank you for that. It said, what if sending the card, and this, I think, it's a little bit on what Charlotte was just saying, what if sending the card is the way to make that first step? Of course, there's always exceptions, but 99% of Valentine cards are sent with the best of intentions. And actually, if someone doesn't have the confidence to sort of come out and say it, because they're very nervous, sending a card could be the initial sort of contact that might get the reception.
The initial
they could
contact...
secretly like them back, and that's the moment when they get
Well, that's
talking.
when it works wonderfully well, but for a lot of people receiving an unsolicited Valentine's Day card, they don't know that that person is interested. And yes, you could say or argue that they might not have the confidence, but really, how many people are that unconfident that they couldn't approach that person in a different way?
Plenty. Honestly.
I think if you're in a work environment and somebody maybe does a job that's a bit intimidating, or in a slightly different department, maybe you don't have that much contact with them and you've kind of seen them across the office.
Well, work is a fantastic example. There's 70-odd% of people have been romantically involved with work colleagues and 16% have ended up in a long-term relationship. So that is a fantastic example. However, the workplace is a professional place and Valentine's cards and flowers and chocolates and hearts and things shouldn't be brought into that. There are plenty of opportunities with a colleague outside of the workplace.
But can I add on in that with workplace, is that sometimes people's only social element of life is their workplace. And I think that by banning it in the workplace is just going one step too far, because it's dictating somebody else's choice. They should be given the option to say whether or not they want to receive something. And by banning it altogether is not showing the next generation the best way forward and being confident in sharing emotion.
If you think it's so good, and it's a good thing, what is the best way if you've been given a card from someone that you don't want to have a relationship, which you might secretly suspect has a soft spot for you already? What is the best way to handle that?
To appreciate the card and thank them for sending the card and tell them and be open and honest. One of the things that I deal with today is so many people, and men especially, that come to me with confidence issues because they've been rejected in the past. If we can look at ways of being able to develop a polite and easy way to be able to not necessarily reject people, but to let people know that you're not interested, that's what we need to be promoting, rather than banning it all together.
Isn't that rejecting them?
It is, but politely, you know, rather than saying, oh, no, I'm not interested.
I feel like massaging
I'm not saying, oh, my God, I've got a card from, and telling everyone at work, because I think that's when it can be quite damaging and embarrassing for the person who's...
Yeah, and we've got to remember that we're now so much more aware of the fact that we should be allowed to feel safe and comfortable in our place of work. And it doesn't matter what the intention was that the card was given with, it's how it makes you feel. And if that does make you feel uncomfortable, and you may like the person, but the big show of affection in your workplace might make you feel uneasy.
But that's easily resolved by having human resources come in and letting people know whether or not people want to be able to accept one or not. And taking that choice away, that shouldn't be right.
Sorry, Charlotte, are you in a relationship? Excuse me for asking.
I'm married.
You're married, OK. So if your partner, your husband, would send you a card, you'd like that. If somebody before you were married, though, getting a Valentine's card, was it something that you would enjoy? Was it something
I actually have never really enjoyed Valentine's Day. I don't like the show. I don't like the kind of bells and whistles that goes with it, and I find it a really insincere holiday. So, no, I've never really enjoyed
Did you ever get them, though? Did you ever get Valentine's cards as a...
This is probably why I feel so strongly against it.
We've got to the core of it all.
I've been discovered.
A lot of people have been getting in touch about this. Vicky says, oh, please, can we stop with all this nonsense? There's a bit of fun sharing that they fancy you. She says she's still got 2 cards she got when she was a teenager. She's 40 now. She said, I don't know who sent them, but in no way should I feel harassed. Sarah says her 3-year-old told her yesterday they made cards at nursery for Valentine's Day. She said, should I contact the police and get them done for harassment?
He's giving it away. He's giving it away. On Twitter, 40% of you thought it was inappropriate. 60% disagreed. I'm surprised.
The 60% liked the fact that having them, and 40% didn't.
Is reflected.
I've actually got a different one that I did on Twitter that I've actually got 74% say no, it should not be associated with harassment, and only 26%, and that's split between male and female at 14 and 12%.
Both ways.
So there's many mixed views.